I'm going to ask you what you did or anything else you want to tell me about the space shuttle here in a minute or two.
I worked on the reentry heating for all the surface that you see external. And it took about 3 years to figure that out. And I remember a time going to my boss at the time and says, okay, we've got to cut most of this down. What else can we do? And he says, well, there's a flight test in 5 years and we have to reduce the data.
Yes.
I said, I don't think I'll wait 5 years. I need to find something else to do.
Okay.
So that was my extent of the fun part I got to do.
So were you a NASA employee or a
No, it was Rockwell International.
Exactly. Wow, how wonderful. They treated you pretty good over there?
It was different. The working conditions had like hundreds of engineers at desks at the time, and it was very noisy. Not the best working conditions,
right.
But the job was interesting.
Yeah.
The people were good. So it was my first job out of college too, so it was a good place to get started.
Oh, they hired you cheap then.
Yeah, that too.
And so be a little more specific about what you did with the heat, because that is just so critical. And they were talking about how there's all different kinds of heat shield and different temperature ranges for each little part, and it's amazing. There's 4, 5, 6 areas
that have
definitely. Completely different.
That's true. It's very complicated fluid dynamic issue. It's a lot, Apollo capsules and everything else were very simple. We're just coming back with that.
So please tell me, what was your specialty in college that got you into this? And then what did you do, what was your little job there, your big job actually?
Well, I majored in aerospace engineering.
Sure. And what college?
Iowa State University.
Wow.
So it was just timing that the contract was let. They needed people. They hired like 15 guys right out of school. And we're still friends today.
Yeah. And this is just a bachelor's or master's?
I have a bachelor's, yeah.
Sure.
Half the others had masters. It was a mix of both.
You betcha. And then just tell me what you worked on real quick, though, the specific thing about the heat.
I was mainly in charge of all the heat on the fuselage.
Yes.
And there were other guys got different areas. Mine was mainly the whole fuselage, which was kind of nice because that's the one thing you could see here.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. So it was a very complex flow field, and it took a while to get all the information.
Yes. And what'd you do after that? And then how did you end up back here at this beautiful space center here?
Well, after that job, I had another company you probably haven't heard of, SAIC. It was a non-hardware think tank sort of company. And we did projects all over in aerospace and anything you think of. So it was always, your brain was used all the time, and the projects lasted 9 months or so you didn't have years and years of the same thing. And I worked my whole career there.
Is this defense or?
It was defense and aerospace and NASA. Anything you'd want to pay money to do, we do.
Yes.
So it was a great company. So I retired from there. I worked like 30 years there.
Well, you must have just felt a terrific sense of happiness when you heard they were actually going to save these things.
Yes.
There are a couple of them, and that Los Angeles was going to be home for one. How did you feel about that?
Good and bad, because this thing should still be flying.
Yes.
President Obama killed the program, wanted to spend the money on other things, tore down the launch pads to make sure that it wouldn't fly again. This flew 25 times. They're designed for 100. Did you get your tax dollars out of that?
Well, I do remember the initial plans, how many times they thought they would fly these things.
100. That's what they're designed for.
Yeah. And the whole fleet was supposed to go up so many times, yes.
It was expensive, but this is not a trivial hardware.
Well, and certainly I think it's much cheaper than reinventing some kind of Star Wars plan when we got this peaceful, wonderful, utilitarian thing that gets us up where we need to be.
Yeah, I know. It's just, like I said, politics.
Well, I felt the same way about Nixon and Apollo. They had, 3 more capsules sitting there, and the people already had been trained. Heck, half of them had already been up there once.
True too, yeah.
And they were ready to go.
Right.
And amazing.
True.
Well, can you go ahead and give me whatever much of your name you want to give me? I see your name tag says Bob, but...
Bob Curtis.
Thank you, Bob. I'll let you enjoy the rest of the day here as a docent.
Nice talking with you.
And real quick, to wrap this up, give the name of the museum and just anything about this wonderful place.
Oh, what's it called? Call it California Science Center, I think is the formal name.
And then this is the Samuel, how do you pronounce his
Oh,
name?
yeah, Samuel Oschin is the
Thank
guy
you.
that donated a lot of money to have some of this possible. So he was a rich guy with real estate investments or something. So he's been a big docent like that. So that's how you get your name on the museum.
Well, bless his heart and bless you for being here working today.
You're welcome.
And I'll pan to the shuttle. Thank
Okay.
you.